Greetings. Can I have your ticket? Oh, you don't have one? No problem, my friend. Just hit the subscription button below. Come on in. Hey everyone, DFG here, Gideon Slight. Hey guys, have you ever heard the term when someone's disgusted with something that they feel like they want to throw up in their own mouth? That's how I feel about right now. And here's why. I just had the I don't even know how to describe it because I want to say the misfortune, but I did watch it. I did turn the television on. I did look at ESPN First Take this morning. And I listened to Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. And they're talking about the situation with the human sex trafficking involving Robert Kraft. And, you know, you first I'm going to give you a quick take on Stephen A. Smith. Now, I've heard this guy attack, people like Ray Rice, Kareem Hunt, and these guys for putting their hands on women. And I did not have a problem with that. I mean, at the end of the day, you follow me? You put your hands on anybody, then, you need to be, that needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be dealt with in the most severe manner. And that includes, putting your hands on a female. I don't think a female should put her hands on a male. You heard me talk about that as well. But when I heard him talking about those guys, Kellerman as well, I mean the vitriol in this language. I mean mean and aggressive and how dare they put their hands on women. And then I listened to him talking about Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. You would have thought he was at a funeral, guys. You would have thought that his mother had died. You would have thought that, his best friend had died. He's so somber and, and I think about Robert Kraft and, and I know the man and I'm emanating. I know the man and he's a good man and wait a minute. This guy just got caught going twice in 24 hours into a human sex trafficking parlor where women were being forced into sex slavery. And the best this guy could come up with, he's a good guy, he's a decent human being, he's a billionaire, and he really cares about his reputation. Oh, and if that wasn't enough to make me want to throw him up in my mouth twice, Max Kellerman. Well, it all depends on how you look at it. You have to look at it in terms of, if it was a business transaction. So you took my child, kidnapped her, or however you got hold to my child, forced her into a sex slave trafficking ring halfway across the world, my daughter, and you're going around telling the rest of the world that it was a business transaction because some pervert was in there having oral sex and manual sex with my daughter. And that is your idea, Max Kellerman, of a business transaction. Oh, and here's the caveat. It was consenting sex, or it could have been. We don't know that for sure. It could have been consenting sex between two adults. How disgusting. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you know how I feel about, preaching at anybody or being preachy. This is not about being preachy. This is about, are we going to wake the fuck up? Excuse the vulgarity, but are we going to wake the fuck up? Are we just going to sit down on the side with all of these atrocities that we're hearing about these women, children, and sometimes even men, forced into these industries by force, no choice of their own, taken away from their families? There's a movie documentary called Traffic, not the Traffic, the old Traffic movie, but there's a new one. It's spelled, I think it's Traffick. Check it out when you get a chance. It talks about human sex trafficking and how vicious that industry is, how it's tied up into the gang, into organized gangs and organized drug rings and organized, And it's vicious. It's vicious, the industry. It's vicious. I mean, where young women coming out of a convenience store and just get snatched, thrown into vehicles, and taken away. And this is based off of a true incidents, by the way. And yet you got these two wretched human beings, Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, ESPN, sitting here using terms of endearment describing a sex predator. Yes, Robert A. Kraft of the New England Patriots is a sex predator. You guys can water it, not you, but they can try to water it down all they want and say, it's a major misdemeanor. You don't have to go to court. You can try any of that garbage that you want. It's not going to work here. If you want to swallow your own vomit, you swallow your own vomit. But I'd be damned if we, the people who genuinely care about people being victimized, are going to swallow that vomit. You swallow your own vomit. You tell those lies to people who, quite frankly, I think if you don't have a problem with this, anybody who doesn't have a problem with this, you know what? You're despicable. I mean, we all have shortcomings. I'm the first one to admit, none of us are perfect. But I'm going to tell you something. You're never going to find me somewhere having sex with a little child. You're never going to find me somewhere soliciting sex with women who have been enslaved by force. Go in there and pay to rape them. Because that's what you're really doing. If a woman is not openly willing to engage you in intercourse, it's rape. And the key word is willingly engage you in intercourse. It's rape. And any women who are listening to me right now, this is the one time, ladies, you can't say hashtags time's up, hashtags me too, talking about harassment and all these things, and then you wink at someone just because he's a multi-millionaire over some franchise, who, happen to look like, I'm not even going to get into that aspect of it. I could, but, that wouldn't be fair. But if you're just going to turn your heads and look the other way, where's your integrity, ladies? And I know this ain't about you, my sisters, black, white. This is not about you, my sister. So let me pull back a little bit. I'm just calling on you to call on Congress, call on the judicial system, to call on justice. And if you just walk away and let this go, how are you guys going to hold anybody else accountable? You might as well drop, the hashtag time's up and hashtag, me too. I mean, if you're going to let Robert Kraft get away with this, and you're going to let ESPN get away with it, and you're going to let Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman get away with it. With the lies, whitewashing this vicious behavior. Then they show a picture of him coming off the plane with Tom Brady. And they're like, Tom Brady, that's how you can tell when you have a real friend, when he stands with you in times of trouble. Well, you know what? I have a lot of good friends. But if any one of my good friends ever get caught up with sexually, in a sex trafficking ring, or find out that they're having sex with children, taking advantage of, they're not my damn friend any goddamn more. That friendship is over with. Immediately, I might add. If I validate that they are perverts, predators, taking advantage of the innocent, you're no longer my friend, because obviously we don't have the same values. And how can two walk together except they agree? So this stuff, him and Tom Brady, they're going on to the Oscars and everything like nothing has happened. Of course not, because it's not Robert Kraft's daughter. Or maybe one of his granddaughters. I bet if it was one of his granddaughters, he would have been at the Oscars a couple of nights ago, celebrating with Tom Brady and Giselle. I'm sure he wouldn't have been. Guys, this is really, it's beyond a moral issue. This goes back to, what are we supporting today? Are sports franchises, games, entertainment now more valuable than the sovereignty and the protecting of the innocent? Is that, well, we know that's where it's become. But is that who you're going to become? because I'm not going to become that person. I am not going to participate, and I'm absolutely going to speak out against it. And so should you. You know, it's just so disappointing. And Tom Brady and Giselle should be ashamed of themselves. Because this is the one time I ought to say, you know, Mr. Kraft, you know, you've been good to us and you've done a lot of great things and put a lot of money in our pockets, but we ain't with you on this one. He's a sex predator. Took advantage of a woman who was forced into sex trafficking by no will of her own. That is what happened. Twice in 24 hours, he was there. And yes, he knew who he was. Come on, guys. This is a multi-billionaire. You think he doesn't vet? You think he doesn't know where these women are coming from? How these women are there? You think he just woke up one day and said, hey, let me go down the street, go into this massage parlor with some money and pay for some sex, get oral sex, have sex, you know, and oh, by the way, let me do it again tomorrow. And with no idea where he was. And if he's that irresponsible, just by sheer ignorance, his ass ought to be thrown in jail. What we've been told, ignorance of the law is no excuse. How many times we've been told that? And as copper color, you know, Aboriginal people, we get told that all the ignorance of the law is no excuse. You're going to you go into jail whether you knew the law or not. It's not our problem. You should have known. Well, guess what, Mr. Kraft? And for all the Kraft supporters, the same rules apply to you as well. Your money, your status shouldn't have a damn thing to do with it. Your team, your franchise has nothing to do with your vicious, evil, wicked behavior. Shame on you. And shame on you, Stephen A. Smith. Shame on you, Max Kellerman. And I'll tell you, Molly Rose, this is the one time I give you 2 thumbs up. Because she did correct Max and say, you know what, Max? That was not consenting adults. That woman was forced into sex. Man, I feel like I want to throw up in my own mouth. Thanks for listening, guys. Share the video. Talk to you later. DFG, Gideon's Flight.